I'm up at Ormiston Gorge in the Western Macs. My generator's in the background. I'm just doing a little walk. Ghosts come walk around and they'll drop into the gorge and walk back through the kind of the end of the gorge back to the car park. So it's probably 4Ks, I'm guessing. So yeah, I'm just out here doing some food drops for the Larapinta. Not sure whether this walk will appear on my vlog before or after I do the Larapinta, but it'll be around that time. Alright, I'll spin the camera around, show you what I'm looking at, eh? So this is actually a bit of the Larapinta that leads towards Fink, the Fink camp, and the camping areas up here for the Larapinta. Thankfully you don't camp with all the four-wheel drives. I'm swinging up these hills though and into the gorge. Well, today. That's the toilet block and the kiosk, and the food storage is over there. It's a very popular spot, this, but there's a good reason. It's pretty nice. This is probably the most spectacular gorge, well, of the known gorges in the area. Ironically enough, probably the best bits where most of the tourists don't go, the further in towards the pound, I reckon. Alright, climbing up a bit. So if you come through on the Larapinta, that shelter there has power. So that is Ghost Gum Lookout. That's where I'm heading to first. Okay, this is the that's obviously Ormiston. This is the little side trip to the lookout, Ghost Gum Lookout. I'll keep going down there after I check out this lookout. It's kind of cantilevered off the edge a little bit. So that's where I've come from. Directly below us is the waterhole, the more famous of the waterholes. And there's the gorge snaking through to Ormiston Pound down there. So I don't know if you can see that trail. I'm going to kind of drop down. Kind of drops down the side there. I'll meet the gorge kind of down at the last bit you can see, and then I'll rock up my way back up. It's nice there's a bit of water around because I'm hoping to do a bit off-piste stuff on the way back into Alice on my yo-yo. So obviously there'll be no tanks on the off-piste stuff. So when you do this Ghost Gum walk, most of the people stop at the lookout. It's probably just under 2Ks up and back to the lookout. Not that many come down here, and even less go right into the gorge. So the crowds tend to drop away pretty quick the further away from the road you get. Yeah, I reckon like I was mumbling about before. I reckon this is probably the best of the gorges in Central Australia. I mean, there's some slot canyons. You get into the Chewings Range off track. There's some pretty specky spots, but this one's huge. They're normally a little bit small. They're more like slot canyons, some of them. So that down there, that water hole where that kind of sandy bit is, that's where I'm going to get wet feet today. As I make my way back up the gorge. So this is as far into the gorge I'm going on this walk. Head down there where those people are. So maybe I don't have to get wet feet. Someone's they've thrown a few rocks in the water here. And it looks like there's a tree stump on that side. I reckon I might get across with dry feet. So that's the bit where people have been walking across. But it's easy enough to get across without wet feet a little bit further up. So basically what the go is now, I'm just walking back through the very upper reaches of the gorge. It's pretty rocky, this little bit. That's probably why, even though it's a short walk, it's probably why it's not for everyone. Let's assume you don't have to wade through the river, and I've had to swim this sometimes, but you've also got these kind of uneven, well, some of them are almost car-sized boulders you've got to get across in sections, so you've got to be a little bit agile, says the old bloke with the reflexes of a dead cat. Okay, I think I said it to the upper reaches of the gorge. This is actually the lower reaches of the gorge, judging by the way that water's flowing, which would make sense. Probably the headwaters are in the, well, kind of the pound, or it actually flows quite a way up. It splits in the pound. The creek does. One branch goes up to Bowman Gap, and the other branch goes out past Mount Giles. Hopefully, I'll be exploring both of them on the walk that I'm about to start tomorrow. So this is the main waterhole you see in the tourist brochures with the people swimming sometimes. The Ghost Gum lookout is pretty much directly above this one. I don't know if you see those people up there. They're at the lookout. So this little waterhole's only 300 metres from the car park, which is why it's so popular. Yeah, it's very nice. So I'm doing an out and back on the Larapinta, a yo-yo. It's kind of early August at the moment, but I'm thinking by the time I get back here it'll be late August. Be a few degrees warmer. I'm thinking there'll be people swimming. By late August, wow, mid to late August, I think. So I've made my way around the other side of the waterhole. Here's the steps in if you want the civilised entry. I always think it's better from the beach on the other side personally. Okay, let's get back to the ute, get back to Alice Springs and start packing my pack. Tomorrow, it's the Larapinta, you beauty. Alright, I'll spin the camera around and sign off. I reckon I'm pretty well back now. Okay, that nice little stroll, that ghost gum, I suppose you call ghost gum, Ormiston Gorge loop, came in about 3 k's. The AllTrails app stopped for some reason just after I got in the gorge. I'm not sure if it was me or the app glitched up. Anyway, the climbing's about right, about 73 metres climbing I reckon, but the distance about 3 k's, no matter what the slide says at the end. All right, like I mentioned, I'm heading off back to Alice now and sort my pack out for tomorrow morning when I'm heading off on the Lara. I'll catch you then. Take it easy.